It's my impression of a birthday cake being cut. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while. I missed you guys. It's been a bit.
Did you just kiss the audience?
Yeah, my mom watches.
Really?
Yeah.
How much of it?
The first 15 seconds. So
We're
I squeeze
good,
it
then.
in.
We're good.
Yeah.
So I get about 5 more before I can start swearing and talking about all the illegal things we've done over the past 3 weeks.
A lot of illegal things done the past 3 weeks.
Ton of illegal things. Alleged illegal things.
Yeah.
Also, if you saw someone with blonde hair coming out of a hoodie around 3:30 a.m. on downtown Ottawa the other day, no, you didn't. You didn't.
Yeah. It'd be weird if we did illegal things for 3 weeks, but it was just like lame illegal things.
Right.
Like sleeping with your cousin or something. Like,
is
that illegal?
Frowned upon. Frowned upon for sure. Coleman, is it illegal
only
to
if she gets
sleep
pregnant.
with your cousin? If she, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Only if they catch you.
know.
Who? They.
Your uncle. Oh, that'd be such an awkward conversation. Anyways, we're trying to avoid this.
Painting a real visual for Jennifer Racco's mom right now.
Oh, no, Mom, no.
Yeah, don't you have a ton of cousins too?
Too many. Too many.
Or not enough?
I have a friend who hooked up with someone with the same last name,
Right.
but it's a common last name. But I was like, still, dude, that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Where I'm from, that just never go. That's one of those like unwritten rules. You know, you don't sleep with anyone with the same last name as you because it probably fifth cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've told the story about how I was with friends that like found out they were cousins and they had a pretty good snap streak going. So I was getting serious, you know. But yeah, I've been there when it happens. I've not been there, but I've been there when it happens. Not a great place to be.
You've been there when it happens, but not when it happens.
Yeah, no. I was there when they found out together. Like when one broke the news to the other that they were cousins.
Right.
After wheeling pretty hard.
The number one location where cousin kissing does happen, though, bouncy castles. I had to find a transition somewhere.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
From personal experience.
Now, we got 3 news stories coming at you today. First one, we got a bouncy castle turf war, we're going to call it.
Yep.
I don't even know if that's fair to call it that, but we're going to call it that. We have a German surgeon, sounds like a band name, who did some illegal stuff, man. That's the illegal stuff we're talking about. And then to wrap it all up, we had a dog getting a DUI.
Yeah.
That's a good hook, right?
It happened.
It's a good lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fido was hammered.
If we're going to be in this business, we better lie.
Yeah. Fake news, baby. No, it's good. It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
Real fake. No, no, it's real. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First story, first headline we got, Johnny boy. It's been a while. You've been waiting 3 weeks to do this? Let it out, baby.
I was way too juiced to do that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Bouncy Kick Castle. Okay. Here we go.
Why are you shitting?
Just haven't read a headline in so long, man.
So excited.
Bouncy Castle King jailed for burning down rivals. Man.
So this guy, first of all, I did some digging. And when I say digging, I mean a simple Google search. And I found, I counted out 20 bouncy castle factories in Melbourne alone. That's where this story took place. 20. So this guy realizes that there's a little bit of a saturated market and he wanted to thin out the herd. So what he did was he hired some arsonists to burn down the other factories.
Some arsonists for hire. Yeah, that's crazy. Coleman, can I get a number of people in Melbourne, please? That's where this story's coming from. I just want to see the whole bouncy castle factory to resident ratio. You know what I mean?
He's like the Thanos of bouncy castles.
We can't all exist.
That's too many bouncy castle businesses.
22?
There's 20.
20.
I counted 20.
For 5 million people, though.
That's a terrible ratio.
Is it?
Yeah, that's like taking how many people? 5 million?
5 million people.
There's 4 million people in Toronto. Imagine if there was 20 bouncy castles.
I bet you there would be.
Really?
I think so, man. I mean, probably, I don't know, maybe a little smaller, just because I feel like Toronto's a bit more condensed. You know?
This guy feels like that's 20 too many.
20.
So he was like, we need to burn these down. So he burned down a bunch of them. And he felt like, holy shit, like they're gonna think like mine should be next, right?
Yeah.
So he was thinking like the police are gonna think it's suspicious if all these other places are getting burned down, but my bouncy castle factory doesn't get burned down. So he called up his arsonist buddy and he was like, hey, I need you to burn mine down now.
All those other jobs were practice. And he took out a huge insurance like claim on it, made a ton of money, and then just vanished because they found out that his arsonist for hire were getting paid $2,000 a fire.
Yeah, $2,000 a fire. Yeah, that's minimum wage, arsonist wage. I
think
feel like.
so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How many arson jobs do you think that guy does in a year?
Well, I was doing the math actually. Funny you say that.
In this economy, that's rent.
Because first off, though, I wouldn't trust an arsonist that's willing to do a job for $2,000.
Right.
That's just a pyro who's looking for extra fireworks and cigarette money.
Yeah.
But I was looking it up and I was like, yo, a minimum wage worker at McDonald's in Australia makes $44,000 a year.
Right.
This guy at $2,000 would have to do 22 arson hits to make the same amount.
And that's almost 2 a month. Could take like December and January a little slower, maybe. You know, Christmas and New Year, relax a little bit. Only do one job. That's insane, though. Maybe it's just like a passion thing for him. You know, maybe it's not about the money for him.
So, I mean, I think he's just a glorified pyro.
Hey, maybe he's a firefighter. You know what I mean? He's just like, you know, I like fire so much that I fight it and I start them. You know? This just keeps his hobby going, right?
He starts his own competition.
Exactly. I think the cheaper your pyro, the better it is, man, because the cheaper your arsonist, I mean, like, I think I feel like that's better.
Yeah, but your business is booming now. You're the only, like, you know, you just knocked out half the competition. It literally said business is booming for this guy. Why are you hiring the cheapest arsonist on the block?
You can afford if your arsonist isn't dressing in a suit and tie, you know, then what are you doing?
His business moved to #1 on Google.
Yeah, he was the number one trending search when you typed it in. His SEO was off the charts, man.
That's insane.
His SEO was on fire. Sorry.
So the police caught the arsonist, and then the arsonist flipped. And he gave up the guy. His name was what again?
James Balcom.
And then the arsonist, his name's Anderson. So Anderson gave up Balcom. And then Anderson's still going to jail for 8 years. Like, this guy got such a shit deal from the police.
Yeah.
Like, he agreed to flip, but he's still going to jail for 8 years.
Yeah. That doesn't make no sense.
Like, he got nothing out of it.
He got 2.5 years.
He's going to jail for 8 years, it said.
So he's going to 8.5 years, but later in the story, we'll find out that Buddy, who orchestrated, went to jail for 11 years.
Yeah,
which means that he got 2.5 years for flipping.
But the guy that orchestrated it should be getting more time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But
So,
I mean, also, what do you think? This guy's worth? You know what I mean? He's a shitty arsonist. Many of his fires were unsuccessful. I think the cops weren't willing to go above 2.5 years.
That's the thing too. Most of his arson attempts were unsuccessful. Like they had 11, but they didn't burn down 11 buildings. One building took 3 attempts.
3 tries. Yeah. That's brutal, dude.
The one that they had success on, they threw a Molotov. How do you say it?
Molotov cocktail.
Molotov cocktail through a window, dude. That's the sickest way to burn down a building.
If I was to burn down a building, I would Molotov cocktail it for sure.
Awesome, dude. But yeah, no, like I don't. This guy. So Balcom took off and he flew
to Perth.
Yeah, and he hid out there and he started a fraudulent stamp business.
Under a fake name.
And then once Anderson gave him up, the police had a warrant for his arrest. They found him in Perth.
Going by the name Paul Johnson.
Dude, that actually had me thinking, next time I meet someone with just a basic name, I'm assuming criminal or witness protection. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have a buddy named Matt Smith.
Oh, that guy's fucked.
Right? Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
Check his stamps.
Also, yeah, like how I thought stamps. Is there enough people buying stamps, period, to have a fraudulent stamp business on the side?
If you listen, I feel like old people they have stamp guys. You know what I mean? Isn't that an old people thing to complain about is the price of stamps? Because you used to be able to just buy it for like a tea bag back in the day.
They're over $1 now, I
yeah,
guess.
and they're just like, fuck. Like,
I feel like...
So they have a stamp guy.
I feel like fraudulent stamp business is the most safe organized crime business to run because it's never going to like make you enough money where it's that worth it, but you're never going to get caught unless you're a criminal fleeing the law because you're already wanted.
I think I figured it out though. I think what a fraudulent stamp guy does is he makes like counterfeit very like the collectible stamps, right? You know what I mean?
Oh.
Would that make sense, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether or not it's like, he's forging like famous stamps that are like worth actual money, or if it's like, sketchy businesses who do a lot of shipping want to save on stamp costs and they go to this guy. I feel like that's probably less likely, but also somehow I feel like for this story, probably what happened.
Either way, pretty dumb. Like, it's just such a stupid...
Well, this is also the same guy that got into the Jumpy Castle business. Stamp business that's the dumb thing. That's the weird
Kangaroo flat business, as we discovered the Australians call it.
One of the businesses, though, he did burn to the ground. These people, like, they told the story of these people who, like, pretty much sold everything they had to start this bouncy castle business.
They lost 1.4 schmil.
Yeah, just because this guy burned them down because he couldn't have anyone else.
And the news story just kind of, like, does them dirty a bit. Just says, like, now they just...
work meaningless childcare jobs.
Yeah, basically.
They're just elementary school teachers. Like, come on now.
Dude, I had no idea that there could be such darkness behind such like a lively, like children's product. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like Disney, and all the anti-Jewishness and racism of Walt Disney, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Lion King's still a great movie, though.
When are you going to talk about all the bad shit?
What?
I'm kidding.
Oh, I just got it. That's fucked up, man. You're crazy, dude. You're crazy.
That's fucked up. So the guy eventually got caught, sent to jail. He's there for 11 years.
Yeah.
So there's actually 3 arsonists. But the last one they used was this Anderson guy. But he used 3 separate arsonists for 11 jobs. Well, I guess at least 8 because they had to do one 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it was like? Do you think he was like the lead arsonist and he had 2 arsonist pals that he was like contracting out, or do you think it was 3 separate guys? Because I feel like you got one guy. I feel like
arsonist is a one-man job.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's a one-man gig. He filled up a bunch of jerry cans with gas. Also, this Anderson guy comes across as someone who doesn't own a car. So I feel like when he's caught buying like 17 jerry cans, it's like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Side note.
Yeah.
I mean, don't know anything about this guy. You just know that this guy does arson.
Well, he's accepting $2,000 for an arson job. He clearly doesn't have a mortgage. He doesn't have a car. If this is his gig, like he needs to be charging at least.
Clearly doesn't understand how insurance fraud works too. Like, burning down
this guy's getting a shit deal.
He's burning down this guy's own building where he's pocketing hundreds of thousands of dollars on insurance, and he's like, "Yeah, two grand sounds about right."
He'd make more money working as a minimum wage worker at a fast food joint.
No, I get it. I get it. Maybe he's just like that kind of dumb friend that you take advantage of for cheap work. You know what I mean? That guy that always comes and helps.
It makes sense because he sold him out.
You know what I mean? It's the guy your dad brings over. He's your buddy's dad forever, but he's helping you move. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's that guy, and he just does it for the beer and pizza. But he's like 60, and you're like, that's kind of weird that you would do that. Doesn't own a truck or anything.
That'd be funny if the arsonist is just like one of those retirees, but instead of just being a Walmart greeter, he's an arsonist. But like he just takes.
It's a passion job, man. That's what I'm talking about. I like this mugshot of James Balcombe, whatever.
Yeah, what does he look like to you?
He looks like when you make the ugliest, baldest me character on Wii.
Bruh.
Like those glasses and eyes scream me character.
Yeah, he does look like if Benjamin Franklin found in meth instead of America.
He looks like the picture they take when you come through customs, like of yourself. That's always what I think I look like.
He looks like this picture was taken with a fisheye lens, but it's just a normal lens.
He looks like the guy that makes anime porn. He looks like he learned Blender just so he could make Overwatch porn. Yeah. He looks like my uncle.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looks like a pedophile.
Well, I mean, who do you expect to get into the bouncy castle business? Let's be real.
Yeah, same as like priests and clowns.
Probably a lot of moms coming to your store, though. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Or a lot of dads. All right, next headline. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Okay, man.
All right, guys, let's take a little break. That was weird.
It was.
Ain't nothing new, just a nigga with a story. Before I go along, I just hope you listen for me. I be really killing, can't nobody fucking hold me. See the style, ain't nobody can control me. But I don't feel no love. And I'm sorry for the pain I caused. From away when they say I'm lost. From away when they say I'm lost.
First show in Ottawa, hometown. Tell me the emotions running through your body right now.
Honestly, it's all love and appreciation right now, bro. Like I didn't think I had this much of a fan base. I blew up during COVID, so it's like no one was popping out outside. I'm just seeing numbers blowing up on my phone, but I'm not seeing real love and support. But today I finally saw it. Love and support. Everyone came out. Shout out Ottawa, man.
I mean, you had some like I had FTG Reggie, Linda Sun, yourself, all up there. You know, some of the biggest names coming out of Ottawa right now. How did it feel to share a stage with Ottawa legends, like up and coming Ottawa legends like yourself?
It felt like I was home. I'm not gonna lie. We did this all together, and we finally doing it all together for real, you know what I'm saying? So seeing them all up on stage, they killed it. Reggie killed his set before, and you know what I'm saying? Like, us doing it all together like this, bro, it just warms my heart, and honestly, the city's headed in the right direction, bro.
This guy's such a good guy, bro. This guy's so nice, bro. I'm gonna ask a third question. Is that all right? One last one. What do you have to say about Cranium Festival, man, bringing the city together like this?
Shout out Cranium Festival, man, for real. I need to know, where's the man behind the magic? Is he here?
There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them. All right, man, I just want to say thank you so much. Funny guy. I got a couple of funny guys back there now, but for real, thank you to all you guys, man. Y'all finally did it for my first show. Made sure it was in my hometown, and y'all finally showed me the love that I needed. Thank y'all.
Driver tried to switch places with his dog on Dewey stop in Colorado town, the police say.
For all non-Canadian viewers, Dewey is DUI.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this guy got caught by the cops, pulled over, and he swapped seats with his dog.
Mm-hmm.
So his dog was in the driver's seat. He was in the passenger seat. And he was on suspicion of DUI because he was going almost double the speed limit. But it was 11:30 at night, and there was two people in the back seat that were sober.
Yep.
And he was in the front drunk driving with his dog in the passenger originally, and they did the old switcheroo.
One of the people in the back seat owned the car.
Yeah, that's so fucked up. Like, how does that make sense?
Well, I think the story didn't mention that the people in the back seat were like just kidnapped, right?
Has to be.
Yeah, like that's
Has to
the
be a
only
kidnapping.
thing that I can see happening.
But the cop pulled him over, and then when the cop asked the guy, "Hey, have you been drinking?" He took off and ran away. So I feel like the cop was like, "Hey, have you been drinking?" And he was like, "If I was drunk, could I do this?" And just fucking jet off and started running.
I just like the
they caught him after like 20 yards though. He didn't make it far.
I like the image of like just the dog in the front seat, like
Scooby-Doo.
Exactly
High
what
on
I
his
was
kite.
saying. Yeah, exactly. Shag was just a little too stoned to drive the mystery mobile, so Scoob had to get behind the wheel after a few tubes.
Because they arrested the guy, but then the two people that were in the backseat sober, they ended up taking the dog home with them and drove home in the same car because it was the girl's car. It was her car.
And they blew double zeros, both of them. But the thing a breathalyzer doesn't test for is mushrooms. No, I'm kidding. They're just sitting there and they're like, there's cops behind us. Who do you want driving? The mushroom people or the drunk driver? It's like, no, I drive better when I'm drunk. Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
The dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Turns out.
That's crazy.
I'm not condoning drunk driving,
Yeah.
but these guys are terrible friends.
Yeah.
These guys aren't friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you would they wanted to see this guy. Like,
No, I just like
well, because the thing is too is like they were driving the opposite direction of where they said they were heading.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to be heading like northwest, but they were heading southeast.
Yep.
So like at some point, one of the sober people in the back could have been like, "Hey, we're going the wrong way."
Yep. Use their Google Maps even to just fucking calculator. But no, none of that happened.
I'm actually befuddled. I've never been this flabbergasted. It's been a while.
I'm just incredulous over the idiocy in this story.
I'm incredulous as fuck right now. I also want to note that Buddy driving with the.
That was a normal word. That was a.
I know.
Do you think it was worth it? Do you think it was worth it?
Do you think that was worth it? Say what you're gonna say, Coleman.
I want to note that Buddy who was driving got arrested. Had 2 warrants out in the place they were driving from. So not only are you in the back seat, leaving Buddy and his dog wasted, driving the wrong way. So not only are you not navigating, you're also letting Buddy get in trouble when he has warrants out.
Oh man!
And then you just act like everything's fine. Like you go to the cop and you're like, "All right, we'll just take this. We'll just take this party elsewhere. Thanks very much for your service, sir, and have a good day."
We'll catch you at jail, Jim. We'll bail you out again. Don't worry about it, buddy. We got the money still from last time. We got it reimbursed. Don't worry. Like I don't get it. I think it's just this guy must be the most fun person ever. Like,
Yeah,
he
that must be
has
what it
the
is.
ultimate just riz. Like they're about to leave, and he's like, they're driving a Dodge Charger, whatever.
think
Like
it's a
that's
Charger.
a fun car to drive. So he's just like, come on. Let me drive. And they're like, no, come on. And you're like, I've only had a couple beers. And they're like, no, man, we shouldn't. You're like, let me and Scrappy get up there. You know we like to drive fast. You know? And they're like, yeah, I like it when you go around the corners quick, man. I do like that. You're right.
Yeah, like what 80s movie is this where the guy has his good old pal Scruff in the front seat with them driving around hammered with 2 girls in the back seat just having a good time, you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah,
I'm trying to actually think like what scenarios, because the story didn't give us like what we've told you is what we know. They don't know anything else besides this. I'm surprised the cop didn't have more questions. Maybe he did, but they just not.
Yeah,
talking about
I'm curious also about how these people who like own the car and are letting this drunk man with 2 warrants drive the wrong direction, twice the speed limit with their dog in the passenger seat, are just like not in trouble. They just like get to take the car home. I don't understand because we're servers, John. If you serve a guy 3 beers and he drives home and crashes into a telephone pole, like it's our ass.
Is it?
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. I have some stuff to take care of. I might see you guys again.
Anyway,
when you get a postcard from Aruba from John Smith,
just know the stamp's fake.
yeah, just read the first letter of each line.
That's good shit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what scenarios could go down where this is.
He was an
This
asshole
happens.
too, or he was like he was either the coolest guy or just like the worst guy, and like he's like going home with this girl from the party. He's like, "Let me drive." She's like, "No." She's like, "Let me fucking drive." You
Your
get in
car.
the back.
Let me drive your
Let me
car.
drive your car. I'm like, "You're drunk." Like, yeah. So get in the back, and she's like, "Well," and he's like, "No." Scrappy took shotgun, called it.
How'd you get a dog in the bar?
Yeah.
Wherever you're coming from. Like,
Yeah.
also, too, how shitty of a night is it for this sober woman whose car it is? Like, you drove and stayed sober for a reason that night.
Yeah.
And then still this guy's driving your car drunk and you
Yeah.
get pulled over. And now you got to drive an extra 40 miles because you're that far
Gone the
away.
wrong way. I also wonder, like, here's the only rationalization I could come up with in my head is that the 2 people in the backseat were trying to get busy, and that's why they have the backseat to themselves. And Buddy's like, "Oh, don't worry about it." You know what I mean? Like, I'll drive. Like, do you think there's any merit to that? That's the only reason I could think for the 2 sober people.
No,
to
because
just
then
be-
why would he be speeding?
They liked it. They just liked that.
The bumps add extra.
Yeah.
But like for him, it's hard to watch when you're going that fast.
I had a friend who used to pick people up from parties.
Just a very respectful drunk guy.
I had a friend who used to just like do like his own like Uber service, pick people up from parties. Because we didn't have Uber back then. He didn't care if you got like started getting busy in the car with him. But
Really?
well, yeah, and he drove like just like single cab trucks. So you're right next to him. No, I'm playing. That's not. You believe it though. If I kept going, wouldn't you? It almost sounded true. Right?
That sounds exactly like a John back home story,
exactly.
bro.
How many of them been real? How many are fake? You'll never know. All right, shall
Theo
we get
Vaughn
going?
had a.
Shall we get going?
And now a quick break. I remember being part of those therapeutic sessions. Therapeutic, by the way, is a song that you just released. Come on, keep up. But being part of those sessions was interesting because it started off with you being like, hey, this is going to be a writing session. I want you to come capture this and see how we write. And dude, here's my dumbass thinking. I'm about to walk into you guys having like rows of tables, like it's Southern Hall at Carlton.
Like a standardized test is about to happen.
And you guys are going to have pen to paper, like, right, okay, you got the verse, you got the hook, we got the chorus.
We got this guy. We got you here just for jokes on an interlude. Like that's all that you're here for, man.
But it was so cool to see the actual process because the actual writing process was in the room. You had like you, Joe Gaz, Jaden, Gold Stripes, your brother Jeff, and you guys are just all like pitching like, oh, how about this line? How about, oh, this sounds cool. Like, oh, this is kind of more so the theme of the song. I don't like that. Oh, if you punch in like that, it's kind of dope. To see your process of how you write was really dope, man. Like I just got it. There's not even a question. I'm just saying, like that was amazing to just be a witness of.
No, I
Not a question. I just fucking love you, bro. Like I think you're so fucking sick, dude.
No, it was dope, you know, to have you in the room to see it because it's like I don't think I don't think people really understand there's a science behind writing, you know what I mean? And I learned it from Big Dog Malik Yusuf, you know what I mean? And there's a reason why, you know, Kanye's music hits or Beyonce music hits. I know you guys are like, oh no.
Oh no, I gave him the look because like this is my next question. I'm so
like,
ready for it. But thanks for the natural segue.
We don't
just keep going. Just keep going because I'm gonna come back to that. I'll come back to that. I have a joke and then I'm gonna come back to that. Okay.
But yeah, basically like there's a science behind writing the music and we're really intentional about what we say, how we say it, and everything. Like even like for one line, you know, you would see that like we would have a whole conversation about like one line and how, and like, you know, if you change this word for another word, how it could like, you know, come off, you know what I'm saying?
That was the crazy part to me.
So those things are really important, you know?
There's like the one line where you're like, in therapeutic, I'm going to get it wrong, but you're just like, yes, I'm a man and I got flaws.
Yeah.
That's the line. And then at one point you guys are like, yes, I'm a man, but I got flaws. And you guys had like a 30-minute conversation about why you should use the word and not but.
Yeah.
And like how it makes a huge difference. So it's like, it's crazy,
exactly.
dude. Like, it's amazing.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, it's like in Mandarin when like the one pronunciation of the word can mean the, and then the other pronunciation can mean like dildo. You know what I mean? Like it's just how you kind of spin it.
Last headline we got here reads,
German surgeon fired after getting hospital cleaner to assist amputation.
so homie was getting his toe amputated. Don't ask questions. And what happened was...
Why? I said don't ask.
Yeah, that's a question, John.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, keep going.
That's a question. So he didn't have a medical assistant available to him, but he was like, I feel like this is such a classic doctor move, like big ego. I got a medical degree. I know what I'm doing. I don't need no assistant. We're doing the surgery anyways. God damn it.
This reminds me of Jimmy Butler beating the starters with the T-Wolves like practice squad.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
He's like, I'll beat all of you guys with the practice squad, and
Yeah.
then he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then went home and like was on a press conference by the time practice was done. So jokes.
I feel like surgeons have massive egos, but toe surgeons must have inferiority complexes. So both of those combined,
Or foot
you lead to
fetishes.
this. Okay.
Or small wieners.
I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Or foot in foot. But this guy, he didn't have a medical assistant on deck.
Yeah.
So he was like, and then the guy who was getting his toe amputated, he was getting restless. And he was like, hey, we got to do this. So he called in the cleaner.
Yeah.
Just walking by. He's like, hey, get over here. And then he, was like the scalpel guy, basically, like handing him the medical instruments that he needed.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of all fucking chances, the hospital manager happens to walk by while this is going on, peeks his head in the room, and the cleaner just has hands bloody, gauze everywhere, just caught him red-handed, quite literally.
Nice.
And then the guy got fired, obviously, because you're not the cleaner had no medical experience, so you got fired. You got it. You know what I mean?
The surgeon got
the
fired.
the thing is that there's no complications. The guy was fine. The cleaner did a fine job. Like, he knew what to give the guy, which is amazing, because I don't even know what a scalpel looks like.
Can't even pronounce it.
What is it?
Scalpel.
What is it?
Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Is that not what I'm saying?
Not quite.
Try saying scalpel.
Scalpel.
There's an L in there. A first L.
Scalpel?
Scalpel. There you go.
All right.
Scalpel.
Say couch, John.
It's all right. It's all right. I just feel like this, like, the cleaner the whole time, it's just flashing back to, like, him, like, holding a flashlight for his dad to, like, fix the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The POV of like the point of view of the hospital manager is hilarious. Like, I'm picturing this guy's having a great morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just walks and he's like, Dr. Mueller, how you doing? Dr. Kraus, Dr. Schmidt. Hey, Jorge, what are you doing over there? And then just like completely caught off guard. Yeah.
I pictured as like there was a big mess and he was having a bad day.
Oh shit.
And he's like, oh my God, this idiot puked all over the floor of the ER. Where is, I was going to say.
You're going to say Jorge too,
Jesus, it's another Hispanic name, and I feel bad because this is a German story.
I know.
Who's the Mexicans of Germany or of Europe?
They're NATO.
Dutch.
Yeah.
The Dutch.
The
Yeah,
Dutch.
let's go with that.
Yeah, the Dutch. So he's looking for Dirk around everywhere.
Hans.
Dude, there's a Dutch guy who went to my school. This is a sidebar as hell, but there's a Dutch guy who went to my school. His name was here.
No, it wasn't.
Go ahead and spell that.
G-E-E-R-T, and he played hockey.
G-E-E-R-T? Gertz.
And every time he'd go, he played hockey, dude. And every time he'd go on the ice, instead of everyone going, it would go, here. It would sound like that fucking scene from Forrest Gump when the principal comes out from banging his mom, and Forrest Gump's on the front deck, and he's like, it was that same sound. And I've always associated those two things together.
That's why the name Hugh pisses me off.
My God,
Because it's just a sound. It's
I
not
want his
letters making a word. It's just a sound.
His sister had a crazy name too, but I can't drop both of them because then it's like I don't want it'd be too.
How many
trackable.
are there in fucking
One, and that's it. Like I've already given too
Halifax?
much.
What was his sister's name?
It was Coon. C-U-U-N. Coon.
Oh no.
Not good, dude.
You can't use that as the cleaner's name.
No.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I pictured the hospital like the hospital manager is like looking for this guy everywhere. Where is he? Where is he? And everyone's just like, oh, I saw him down the hall over there. Oh, he's over there. And he finally gets to someone like, oh, I saw him in operating room 4. And he looks in there, and sure enough, there he is, like mid-handed, and he's just like, the doctor's just like holding his hands, teaching him how to do it.
Like he's behind him too, like
Yeah,
they're doing
like, that's
pottery.
what I mean. Like he's teaching his date mini golf. You know what I mean? Like that's how I picture that. And if you just make an incision here.
This is funny. It's like literally I'm picturing this guy mopping the hallway when he gets called in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if like Good Will Hunting meets ER,
Right.
but it's real life and it's only one episode. and it's the boring, like pretty boring episode.
Because the person lives and they just
like everything went fine. It was just a toe. Like even if they did lose it, well, he did lose it, got amputated, but yeah,
we lost the foot, you know.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty pissed when I woke. All right, I don't know how I'd feel actually when I woke up.
He's not asleep. No. The patient who was getting the toe cut off understood what was happening.
Right, because you don't get put under for that.
No, it was a local anesthetic.
Not.
That's something that we left out when we were vetting this story. I didn't even think of that until just now.
About it, like, you know, anesthetics, like the most expensive part to surgery. Like it's a very expensive. Like that's what you like. It's super expensive to pay for anesthesia when you're getting a surgery. So I figured that this guy was like, oh my God, this guy's going to wake up soon. I need to, like, this guy's running late. My assistant's running late. So he just pulled Miguel in from the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, my
three strikes, you're out, man.
No, you were strike 2. So it's 3 strikes combined.
My question going into talking about this story was, how does the cleaner just think that's how this works? But also, how does the patient just think that's how this works? The doctor's like, hey. And everybody involved in the situation is like, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, like he just needs somebody to pass him the scalpel. And,
well, the patient was restless. And I'm imagining he's restless because his toe's all fucked up and he's about to get it cut off.
Yeah.
I feel like he had
that, or his wife's pissed at him for something and he's thinking about it.
I feel like,
but I think like he's just like, he doesn't care. Like if I'm in that situation and I'm getting my toe cut off and I'm restless, I'm like, just fucking get someone. Like,
yeah.
I don't care. Like, grab anyone off the street.
I'd be like, probably not that guy.
You're okay
but
with
he's the
anyone.
one. He's just the one handing.
Yeah. Okay.
Tools,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the doctor's like, I got this. You know what I mean?
I
don't need a medical assistant, but like, I kind of do.
The doctor and the patient are just shit talking how the assistant's late. You know what I mean? I think honestly, I think they should be able to like keep their job. Like I really do think. But that's my whole theory of like I feel like you should be able to go to semi-professionals for like cheaper prices. I think it's sort of in that same vein. I like to picture the doctor going out into the hallway and just being like, listen, I got something going on in there. I'm running late. I got a tea time here soon. Do you mind just hopping in there? It's just passing me tools. That's it, man. It's like working on your dad's car back in the day.
Yeah,
I don't think, because they're German, so I don't think they could have been that charismatic about it. I think he probably was just like, "Hey!"
Yeah,
that's what I'm picturing.
Right,
just a bunch of German nonsense screaming at this guy to come help him.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You know what I'm saying? But maybe the message of that, what I'm picturing, was conveyed in the same way that
it was heartfult and delicate.
But it just sounded horrific
because they were German,
okay.
right?
They're good at following orders.
Yeah.
How well they do, different story.
Yeah. Shitty at winning wars.
That too.
Is
Yeah.
that where we're going to leave it off at?
I guess so.
I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah. Whew. Tough look in the Boston Celtics hat too.
I know, man. They were losing really bad when we started this episode.
Oh yeah?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm debating not even turning it back on.
It's the sound of a sweep. Not really.
Should we talk about some stuff that we have done that we might be doing soon? Anything the audience should know about? Shout out Knife Circus. Shout out Dolos.
Yeah, we had a pop-up event here last weekend. Clothing pop-up went dope. There'll definitely be footage dropped on our socials soon. Follow us at DTW Studios. It's a fun time, man.
Yep.
It was a cool event. We got another event June 24th.
Yep.
Another clothing pop-up here. Another one July 29th. And yeah.
You can tell which one of us is in charge of booking.
You're like July, and I know the date exactly. Like July 20. Like that's where it should have gotten slow. Whatever. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to do a pop-up here, come rent the space out. Come do it.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. If you want to do a little art exhibit, you want to do a clothing brand pop-up, you want to shoot a porno, we know a guy.
We do know a guy. Go watch those episodes.
Yeah. And thanks for tuning in, folks.
Yeah.
Was that weird?
They're coming down to the wire. At the center's handed. Rich strike is coming up on the inside.